What is up? What is up? What is up? It's Cayman Wolf, the Decrepit Gamer, your friend here. Remind you, first of all, that you're never too old to game. And second of all, to let you know that one of my favorite games right now, GrimLord, has just put out a new patch. Now, it's a small patch. It's up from version 1.04 to 1.05, but it has some fixes in it that have been highly requested by the community. And one of them I know has been highly requested by me. Before I go any further, let me just let you know that I am currently streaming GrimLord in its entirety in a series called Grim Adventures every Saturday evening at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're currently on episode 3. We're not very far into the game. If you want to go back and catch back up, you can certainly do that. I'll put a link to the playlist right up here. And if you're watching on a television or a console or an app that doesn't have the cards where you can't see the link that I put up here in the corner, I'll also link it at the end of the description. So if you want to see this game play through in its entirety and watch it with a really good group of my regular viewers who are just a lot of fun to hang out with, check it out. Also, Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, my good buddy Silver Tongue Devil, he is also streaming GrimLord, and he is giving away a whopping 5 keys of the game. So if you're interested in this game, check out Silver Tongue Devil's stream. I'm going to link it in the description of this video, and stick around for my stream when his ends. Now, I did a giveaway of this game 2 weeks ago, and I've got at least one more giveaway planned. I'm not going to do my giveaway on the same day he does his, but it would be a good double feature GrimLord extravaganza on Saturday. Oh, also, Metal Cat has just dropped an announcement. If you're not lucky enough to be one of the 5 winners on Silver Tongue Devil stream this Saturday, you can also try the game and play it for 25 minutes for free. Now, I've played through the first 25 minutes of this game myself a couple of times, and I can tell you 25 minutes is a good amount of time to get a good feel for what the game is like, what the combat is like, what the ambiance is like. This game doesn't waste any time in putting you right into the action. So yeah, check it out. Check it out, guys. We'll take a look at it here in just a second. So let's dive in here and look at the patch notes. Okay, so here we are out on their Steam page. Now I'm going to read through their announcements right here. If you just want to skip right ahead to the patch notes themselves, timestamps are in the description of this video. Dear brave adventurers, in this significant update, we address the frequently raised issue of lost weapons. Oh, thank God. That is one that I have complained about so many times. I do love this game, but I did tend to raise that as a complaint because it was very, very frustrating. So what would happen is if you died and you didn't have your weapons in your hands, then when you respawned, you would respawn without them, and you'd have to teleport back to the monastery. You'd have to go to that little chest by Peck. You'd have to scroll through the little scroll there, find your weapon, respawn it, and then go back and get back in the action. It was extremely frustrating, and thank God they have fixed that. Now, when a player's character dies, all dropped weapons will be retrieved by Peck. That's Peck is the little goblin, remember, in the town that's in that room with your chest where the armor is and the necklaces, and respawned near the resurrection point. You won't need to rummage through the monastery anymore. Please note that this feature will not activate if you use the teleport feature to avoid a situation where a bunch of weapons rain down on you every time you arrive at a teleport point. Overall, this adjustment will greatly enhance the gameplay experience. We welcome any further suggestions and encourage you to participate in the community discussions. Furthermore, we have increased the frequency of physics calculations. We have also addressed the issue of weapon penetration through monsters, which MetaQuest players have reported. While it's hard to eliminate this issue for now, our testing indicates that only high speed and short attacks may be missed. We hope these improvements will enhance the experience for our MetaQuest users. Now, let me just say at this point, I have not played since they released this patch. They've just released this patch, and I'll be playing again on my live stream tomorrow night. So I have not tested this. But just based on this description, I thought this was a feature, not a bug, because this has not affected me, okay? And I think that the reason this has not affected me is because of my particular fighting style in virtual reality games. My attacks tend to be very deliberate. It sounds to me like what they're describing with these short, high-speed attacks are the kind of attacks that come from what I call the wavy weapon exploit, where you just sort of take your sword and just wave it back and forth real fast like that and try to rack up a bunch of damage. That works in some melee games in VR, and it's very frustrating to me that it does. It makes for very unrealistic swordplay, and I'm not saying that it is, but it kind of sounds like that's what they're describing. So I hope not. I hope they haven't patched the game such that people can now do the wavy weapon exploit. We'll see. We'll just see. I'll test this out on my live stream tomorrow night. In terms of future plans, we are intensifying our preparations for the arena mode, along with a storyline and quests that complement this mode. The arena will be an extension of the main storyline, featuring its own narrative threads that are still connected to the main plot. The rewards obtained from the arena will also help us explore the main storyline more effectively. We remain dedicated to improving players' experiences and fostering an active and open community. If you have any insights about GrimLord, we invite you to join our community discussions. To know more about the rest of the update, read through the patch notes below. And that's what we're about to do right now. So these are the actual patch notes. Version 1.0.5 update highlights. Weapon recovery mechanism. Weapons dropped upon a player's death near the respawn point, the navigation station. Okay, I think that's a poorly written sentence, but obviously what it's saying is that the weapon recovery mechanism is that when you die, the weapons are dropped near the respawn point, which is the navigation station. So when you resurrect, when you respawn, your weapons will be there near you at the respawn point. New boss state, the Guardian. Players can now knock off the Guardian's helmet, allowing headshots that deal increased damage. Okay, so the Guardian is that first boss that you encounter in the monastery. When you open the door, before you even got into the town, you open the door and you're in that courtyard there, and he's sitting across from you on that bench with his big halberd or pole arm, and he stands up slowly and starts purposefully walking toward you, and you have that big fight with him, that first boss. That, if I'm not mistaken, that is the Guardian. Now, previously, you could knock his face mask off, and then you could, if you had a piercing weapon, what you do at that point, because you have that sword, you could stab him in the face and rack up damage that way. And they're saying headshots. You don't have a bow at that point in time, so I don't know. Maybe for New Game Plus or whatever. Unless I'm mistaken about who the Guardian is. I don't think I am. I'm almost 100% positive that first boss right there is the Guardian. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. UI hint for skipping cutscenes. Introduced a UI prompt for players to skip cutscene animations. Okay. I've only restarted the game a couple of times, and both times before my live stream, so I let those animations play. I don't know if this is saying that you couldn't skip them before, or if they just didn't have a UI hint telling you how to do it. So if they were skippable before, now you're going to have a hint that's telling you exactly what you have to do in order to do it. Improvements. Physics enhancements. Improved the frequency of physical related. Okay, that's a poorly written sentence. Let me read what I think it's supposed to say. Physics enhancements improved the frequency of physics related to hands and weapons, reducing the failed swing physics. Okay, I think this ties into exactly what they were talking about before with the sword that kind of swings through the enemies. Again, I didn't experience that, but I know I've watched other streamers play the game, and I've seen this happen to them. So all I'm hoping for is that they haven't made a change that's going to allow for that silly wavy weapon exploit, that you still have to swing with some purpose. You have to have deliberate attacks in order for them to be successful. We'll see. We'll just see. Collision feedback for enemies. Enhanced the physical collision response from certain enemies. That sounds synergistic to me, like that's kind of part of the same thing. I'm not really sure what they mean by that, unless it just has to do with the weapons hitting the enemies. I don't know. Post-processing effects. Upgraded post-processing effects to improve visual quality on Steam VR. So if you play on Steam VR, apparently there's going to be some additional post-processing that's going to make the game look better. They don't go into any more detail than that. Fixes. Chapter 2 task line. Resolved a rare issue causing interruptions in the task line for Chapter 2. Okay. Again, they don't go into any more detail than that. Tomorrow night, on tomorrow night's stream, I am starting Chapter 2. So hopefully they've fixed a bug that I would have encountered, and I'm now not going to encounter it. If you haven't played Chapter 2 yet, hopefully they have proactively improved your experience there. Translation errors. Fixed several translation errors. Just not a lot of detail or explanation in these patch notes. I have to assume there, when they say translation errors, they're talking about translation into other languages for international releases of the game. I mean, it could theoretically mean translation of objects in 3D space. I don't know, but let's just assume that they're talking about language translation. Weapon lock issue. Corrected the problem where a player's weapon would become locked in space after the character's death. Again, I have not encountered that one, but that sounds like a damn good change. That is definitely not something that you want. Okay, and then they wrap it up here by saying, join the GrimLord community. If you have concerns, questions, suggestions, feedback, etc., don't hesitate to chat on our Discord, and they've got a link to their Discord server. Other travelers are waiting for you at the pub. Follow us and stay tuned to more updates and announcements on our official channels, and they have a link to their X, their Instagram, their TikTok, and their Facebook. I am going to put all of these and the links of the description of this video so you don't have to go out there poking around and searching for their Steam page and their Discord server and this and that and the other thing. I'm going to take care of all of that for you. Now let's hop back over here to their Discord for a moment and take a look at this thing that they were talking about, the try before you buy deal. Here they say, try GrimLord before you buy on MetaQuest. Okay, so apparently this is MetaQuest only, not the Steam VR version. Enter the world of GrimLord for a limited time for free. Exclusively on the MetaQuest platform, we're letting you try GrimLord for free for 25 minutes. Again, guys, I have to say 25 minutes, you can really get a good feel for the gameplay of this game in the first 25 minutes. It goes right into the action. Try out this VR Souls-like action RPG experience like no other and see if it makes you stay for good. Okay, so here they're saying GrimLord try before you buy details. Starts Friday, February 21st, 2025 at 12 p.m. Okay, so this is, I'm reading this on Discord, so this is obviously translated to my time zone, so that's noon Central Standard Time, so whatever time that is for you. 25 minutes per player. And then the last thing here is the thing all they say is limited test. For now, there's a limit to the number of players we're able to opt in to the try before you buy program. There is no more detail than that here on this page. I don't know how they're going about doing that. My guess would just be that it's like first come, first serve. You go out there, and if you get there in time, then you can participate in the, probably right there in the headset, you can opt into the try before you buy program. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, all I have is the information here that's available to me, and that's all that I can bring to you. That's all they're saying. That's all the detail that I have. Then right here, they're saying, check out GrimLord at MetaQuest here. I clicked on this link. It just takes you out to the Meta webpage where you can purchase the game. I know that's what it is because before I signed in, it had the price of the game, and then after I signed in, it had launch or something like that. Just exactly what it does when you go out to the Quest store in the headset to a game that you already own. So that's it, guys. I mean, it's a super short patch. I mean, we knew it was going to be because it's just a revision. It goes from 1.0.4 to 1.0.5. It's not a major update. It's a revision, but they have addressed a couple of I felt like really problematic. Personally, I felt like the only really problematic issue that they had. I mean, maybe that's a little narcissistic of me because it was the only one that was affecting me personally, but that disappearing weapons issue was getting very, very frustrating, and I am so glad that they fixed that. grand scheme of things, a good little patch. All of these links will be in my description. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, check out Silver Tongue Devils, link in the description, Silver Tongue Devils stream where he's giving away 5 copies of GrimLord. And then immediately following that is my stream where I'm going to continue my Grim Adventures, a full playthrough of the game. Tomorrow night will begin with a fight against the Hollowed One, the last boss of Chapter 1. That's where I left off. I'd gotten all the way, cleared the path all the way to him. It was late, and so I didn't fight him. So tomorrow night's stream is going to begin with a fight with the Hollowed One. And I have fought him one time before, and he is pretty tough. I mean, he was for me. I guess once you figure out his mechanics, I sort of just blunt force my way through it, which I expect I'll probably end up doing again, using a couple of health potions and just blunt forcing my way through that fight. But we'll see. So for more news, tips, tricks, reviews, and awesome gameplay videos, subscribe to the Decrepit Gamer channel. This is Cayman Wolf, the Decrepit Gamer, reminding you that you're never too old to game. And for now, my friends, I am out.
I'm the Decrepit Gamer, don't you give me no lag. Got my console, got my stacks, and I'm ready to frag. Who says YouTube, oh, to be a digital knight? I'll be rated in my slippers till the